So Newton Fall actually has something that I wanted to bring up because you're talking about wanting to enter competitions again. They said, I think it is important for you Serpent Knights to keep entering ANS tournaments, and just like it is important for Warlords to be fighting in tournaments. So
Yeah.
I tangentially agree with that. I don't think it's necessary for someone in the Serpent Path to have to enter ANS because it's not a requirement. So I'm not going to hold them to the standard where they have to do it. But I think there's definitely a benefit in it for both the person entering and the community in general, so they can like you get to show off what you can do, and so people can aspire to be able to like if someone else in the game could make that, then maybe I can get to that level too.
Unum, I'm curious because I feel like I know you pretty well, but there's always still you are still kind of a more quiet, reserved person. Uh, so sometimes I have to ask these questions to find out your mentality. But do you ever look at a Dragon Master, for instance, and like look at what's being entered, see who won, and think to yourself, dude, I gotta get back into these because like I could have beat that dude's ass. You know what I mean? Like that kind of stuff. Like, because I know you're a very gracious and supportive person, but I also know for a fact that you have a competitive side. You hide it well, but I feel like it's definitely there. Um, so like I just imagine there's got to be points where you're like, I if I had entered, I would have won, or like maybe not that exact verbiage, but some sort of like if you're gonna win Dragon Master, you have to go through me. Like that kind of mentality at all. Do you ever have those moments?
Yeah, I mean, sort of. It kind of depends though, because it depends on what's been entered and how they won, and if it's like if they entered something that's like garb and needlework or something like that, it's like I can't. It's hard to compare my work to anything like that.
Sure.
So I couldn't say like, oh man, I could have beat that person. It's like it depends on what the judges thought at the time. That's really what it comes down to with that kind of stuff. But if it's
I
like they made this, this weapon and this leather stuff, things that I'm familiar with, I'm like, I could have put up a competition to that, like,
yeah.
if I didn't or whatever. But at the same time, I'm thinking like I don't have any like regret for not entering because I don't have anything to enter. Like
Sure.
so it's like if I do have like some cool project that I'm working on that I'm like then I'm confident to enter it in and I'm confident that I'll do well with all that. I have
Yeah.
that. But I'm not out to bash the winners or anything like that, or
No,
or
and
or
not
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 bash,
to
but
take it.
like
Yeah.
yeah,
Not to take anything away from the winners at all, because like it's for me with tournaments, I'll see like somebody wins a tournament, and it's not to say that like that person's like a bad fighter, but I'm like, man, like if I had entered, I think I could have come out on top. Or, but I
yeah,
feel like there was a time in our history, like there was a window in Northern Lights history where, and not even Northern Lights, let's say Northern Lights and Black Spire, where if you wanted it, Best in Owl was going to be yours. You know what I mean? Like there was a time where you
yeah,
were on the come up, and like that was definitely like a thing where it was like, oh, Unum won Best in Owl. Yeah, no shit. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
so like maybe not Dragon Master, but like yeah. So when you see like the Best in Owls and stuff, be like,
Mhm.
it's a wide category for sure. I know what you're saying, but I was just curious if that ever hits you.
No, yeah. I mean, I'm confident in what if I'm entering it. I especially like I've never entered a Dragon Master to win Dragon Master. I've never had all enough items to do it and all that. But when I enter it, either I'm entering one item and I'm hoping to win Best in Show,
Mhm,
or I'm entering three items for Owl, and hoping to win either Best in Owl or Best in Show with one of those items. And
mhm.
I have every one I've entered, I've won one of those two. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm confident in it, but yeah, I'm not like my stuff is better than other people's. But
No. Yeah.
I think what I made in those things was good. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Do you feel like with Dragon Master, do you feel like you have to enter too many items and that the quality of your work suffers a little bit to be able to get the title of Dragon Master? Or
I think Dragon Master is like a marathon. If you think of it as like you've got a marathon, a race, and then you've got like a decathlon. Like they're two different styles of competition. So I'm entering to win the marathon, the running portion, and and then all these other people are entering the decathlon, right? So they've got to do all these other things, and then this,
right.
and that's a huge feat. But I don't have the time to do that, right? Like I would have to plan it like a year in advance to get and not enter any of these other things in and have everything work out right just to plan for a certain competition. So I think in my mind, I'm only really going to do something like that if I'm going for like if they ever do Olympiad again or something like that.
Yeah.
Like something that is big enough and all that that I can really prepare for well in advance and know and all that. But one day, maybe I'll have the time to make a bunch of stuff and collect a bunch of stuff and then enter it. But like if I'm making something, I'm giving it to someone and then it's just there. Like I can't just collect a bunch of stuff.
There's I just know that there's been times with like Dragon Master specifically where I've gone and looked and it's like this person entered 20 items, but it looks like it took them an hour to do each item. And Unum entered this one item, but I'm pretty sure it took 20 hours to do that one item. You know what I mean? So it's like it's almost like the same amount of work, but like this person qualifies, but this person doesn't, and it's like it feels unfair. But I mean, what's fair? You know what I mean? That's like not it's the system is the system. But yeah, it always just makes me think like same kind of thing with tournaments. Like we have a wide variety of styles of tournaments, and every tournament caters to a different person's uh strengths. Like
Mhm.
some people like warlords like Miller. Miller would do really well in a like bracketed style tournament. But like when it comes to like the grand melees and stuff that's timed, I tend to do better because I turn fights faster. So like it's not one style is better than the other, but it's different styles and so different tournaments cater. But it feels like our Dragon Master is always the same style. So it only caters to one type of crafter. And so I wasn't sure if that was like a point of contention for you guys.
I've heard that sentiment a little bit, but I haven't heard like a lot of push to change that. Like I've seen different variants of like what's how many items are required to win. I've seen
Mhm.
like 5 items or 7 items or whatever categories. There are variants in that too on what's required to qualify to win whatever tournament it is. That I think that's the important thing of we do also have best of the best tournaments and things like that. So that is
Right.
our other options. I think Chiba just announced that they're doing it another best of the best competition at NLCC. So
Mhm.
um, they're going to do another round of that.
Okay.
Um, if people have that certain one item that they've been working on, they can do this best of the best tournament and you know see if it's up to snuff against other people.
Yeah.